Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the Toad Sticker channel, and today we're going to talk about this knife. This is the Kizer Domin Series 2, part of their Vanguard series of knives, which is supposed to be kind of their budgety run. I'll tell you right now, it's not really budgety. I mean, I guess it depends. It's a great value knife, I'll put it that way. When you can get knives for $25 like you can nowadays, that to me is like super budgety, but you know, just for the value, 60 bucks is a great value. So what do we got? We have what they're calling a Wharncliffe blade, which I don't know, to me, I wouldn't call that a Wharncliffe. To me, I'd call that more like a lamb's foot or a sheep's foot, just because to me, that's a Wharncliffe. And you see how the nose is. It's got a swedge up on top here, which is pretty cool looking. It's almost like a reverse Tanto. Hollow ground. Micarta handles. 3.4 inch blade with a 3.25 inch cutting edge and a 4.4 inch handle. So you got 1-to-1 handle to blade ratio, which is really good. It's kind of a narrow package. This way, let's see what we got here. We got 3/4 of an inch roughly, or excuse me, an inch roughly. Here I am a carpenter and I can't read a tape measure, but it's hard to read through the phone. 1 inch, which is pretty good. It's long and slender, which I like, and I like the way the blade kind of mostly disappears into the blade well. Not a whole lot of it sticking out. Not like this guy right here, which if we're going to do some size comparisons, let's just start with that. And this is the Spyderco Paramilitary 3. So you can see it's a little bit longer than the Para 3, a little bit longer blade length, more cutting edge. About the same, almost the same handle, maybe a little bit longer handle. Here it is against a smaller knife. This is the Wee Banter, which is just slightly smaller than the Para 3, and you can see that the Domin 2 is quite a bit bigger. And here we have it against a Sharpie. So you can kind of see it compared to a Sharpie. It is not a tiny, tiny knife, but it carries really nice. And some standard fingernail clippers. So there's your size comparison. Talk about the blade for a second. It's hollow ground, 154 cm. Saber ground, which means it's not ground all the way up. It's got a flat area so you can attach your whatever sharpening system. I use a KME, which is really good. It is super thin. This is a really thin hollow ground. This thing is a slicing machine. Like right there, what I got on there is a 20-degree bevel. That's what I sharpen most of my knives, 20 to 21-degree bevel on them. I don't go for that 17-degree super thin. And look how wide it is. That's because that blade is so thin. Have some coffee. Has a very nice sharpening choil area on it, and the plunge guide doesn't go into the blade, so you don't get a little smiley face at the bottom. It looks like the thumb studs work as stop pins, but they do not. There's an internal stop pin that goes around in there. You'll see that in my disassembly video. It's a liner lock on bearings with standoffs. And this thing has, I don't know what they're doing for action, but it has, like, for a budget economy knife, it is batting way above its average or its worth. It is really, really, really good. Micarta is natural green, but I have used this knife for a very long time. I've had it for a few months. I got it when I first saw it on Love Them Knives, and I just really like the blade shape. And to me, what it reminds me of, and I wish I had one to show you, is it reminds me of a 940 blade shape kind of, except without belly. And it very much reminds me of the 940 in carry. Like, it goes in your pocket and takes up very little space. That tucks back into the back of your pocket, and it's easy to slide your hand in and out of. It's very smooth. Everything's rounded. It's got this kind of shadow box design where the scales are slightly smaller than the liners, and everything is really nicely rounded, contoured. As far as on the liners, of course, the handle scales are flat. Deep carry pocket clip that is not inlaid, but it does have flush mount screws, which is very good. The clip's really good. You'll notice that the clip's a little bit satiny, and that's because I took some Scotch-Brite to it. It did come with polished pocket clip that kind of looks like, let's see, kind of look like this. And it's really hard to tell the difference, I guess. But it is a little bit more satiny. It's not quite as shiny as it was when I first got it. So I like that. I don't really like a super shiny pocket clip on my pocket, because they get like this over time anyway. They get scratched up. If I had a stone washing thing, I would stone wash it. So super smooth action. The ergonomics on it are amazing. There's no hot spots. So you can get a really good grip on it. The jimping on it is amazing. I wish the guy that designed this, his last name's Azo, and bravo, sir. This is great jimping. See how long that road jimping is? That is so nice because you can't miss it. You can choke up on that knife and you're still getting some jimping, no matter where you grab it. Back, middle, forward, you know. Spyderco is nice because it's got the hump. Let's see, is this knife? That knife doesn't even have jimping. Yeah, here's a good one. If you look on this knife where the jimping ends, if you choke way up on it, you're off the jimping. Now, obviously, it's got a crown spine, so there's a reason for the design. That's just part of the design. You know, it works just the way it is, but man, I really like that forward jimping like that. This is the Concept Reverie. Nice knife. We'll be talking about it some other time. Like I said, amazing action, great slicer. Seems to be very durable. 154 cm is kind of a middle of the road steel. It was used as a production steel for Benchmade for a long, long time. All their knives were 154 cm. It's a good steel. It takes a really good edge, holds it for, you know, it's not going to hold it for as long as like M390, but it's going to hold it for a long time. Better than, like, I would say better than OS 8, and definitely better than, better than OS 8, definitely better than like any of the Alphabet Soup steels. So, and I don't know where they're getting their 154 cm. I don't know if it's getting shipped over or if it's getting, if they're making their own now, because it seems to be popping up more and more. And there you can see the markings on the blade. Azo design, Domin. Now this is Domin 2, but it still just says Domin on it. And then there's the Kizer maker mark. And then right under the thumb stud there's the 154 cm. So nicely done. Very nicely done. Has good access. All the access that you need to the liner lock. I mean, exactly what you need. Even though it has left or right hand carry on the clip, it only has a cutout to the blade on one side, or to the liner on one side. So to me anyway, it's not really, they didn't have to do, they could have just done right hand only. And you'll notice it's got 3 holes, so you can adjust the clip up. I have it on the lower 2 holes. You can't see the extra hole. So if you adjust it up, it actually sticks out past the end of the knife and you get even deeper carry. I could live without that. It's cool, I guess. It's kind of a neat thing to do. Has a lanyard hole that will hold standard paracord. I could have done without that too, but whatever. You got to make the lanyard guys happy. So, what else is there with this knife that I'd like to talk about? The thumb studs are very comfortable. They don't hurt your thumb at all. And like I said, the action is just amazing. You can thumb it. You can, you can finger flick it too when it's not in front of the phone. But I can't do it. It's got a pretty strong detent. There it goes. Yeah, the detent is really nice. Runs on bearings, obviously, if you can't tell from that action. And like I said, the action is just crazy good. It gets off the detent ball very fast. Like as soon as you come around, it's off the detent ball. like even just to there. It's off the detent ball. It does not have a detent ball ramp or anything like that. It just has really good detent ball placement. The bearings are ceramic. The detent ball is ceramic. This is my lockup. What do you call that? 50%. And that's after a lot of... I've really used this knife quite a bit, really, because I really like it. I really love how it carries. It just carries really nice. You get a good size, good length blade with not a huge object in your pocket, and no flipper tab in there like other reviewers like to say, you know, henpecking your crap in your pocket. So that part's nice too. Anyway, so that's the Kizer Domin 2. Make sure you look for the 2. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on Blade HQ. You can find them just about anywhere. Before taxes, you're paying $59 before taxes or shipping. So whatever that costs for your area on top of it, I don't know. If you go to, there's a place, White Mountain Knives, I think, they might have them, and then they don't charge for shipping or taxes. So that's not a bad deal either. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was somewhat informative, and I hope you're having a great evening. So please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I hope you have a great evening. Toad Sticker out.